Okay, good morning and welcome to our inaugural Columbus County Spring Sports interview session. And this time we're doing with the softball coaches here in Columbus County. And first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for giving up part of your Saturday morning to come and be with us today and talk about your programs. And some very successful programs that we have here in Columbus County in softball, and we're going to do this alphabetically, even though she's opposed to it, and she's still sitting with us, so Morgan Jacobs has not run out the door yet. East Columbus softball. Morgan, season ended last year with a loss to the eventual 1A state champion Princeton team in a ball game that you were competitive with down to the very end. I'm not trying to make you cry, but that sets the bar pretty high for East Columbus softball. How do you feel about last season?
Last season I had a lot of seniors which lost this year, so that's going to hurt us. But I had a good team last year. They worked really hard for me. So I'm just hoping this year my seniors coming up is going to step up.
And I know that just some of the names looking at your roster from last year: Kaylee Paul, Summer Williamson, Kirkland Wayne, Olivia Kissam, Simone Spalding, Saya Campbell, and Marlena McClure did not graduate, but she's not back at East this year. So some names that did fill a lot of spots for you, but you've got people like Kelsey Carroll, who is with you and mans a very important position behind the plate,
yes,
and Chelsea Graham and Izzy Lennon, Valerie Carter, Kaylee Patrick, all coming back. So it's not like the cupboard is bare, right?
No, but still a few spots that we need to fill.
One thing that the softball coaches don't have to worry about that the baseball coaches do, there is no softball pitching limitation because of how the motion of the arm, and it's not supposed to be the strain and whatever. Who are you looking at for the primarily eating up the innings for East Columbus this year?
Probably Valerie Carter.
And how much did she pitch last year?
She pitched quite a bit. Her and Kaylee Paul pretty much split it. So. Yeah.
So what are you looking at as a number two behind her? Someone with previous varsity experience or someone up from the junior varsity?
No, Michaela Barsh.
Okay.
Yep. So we're short this year pitching-wise. My pitching staff is a little short this year, so we're going to make it work with what we got.
So you're going to have to rely on offense and playing good defense behind your pitching staff.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Offensively, who were some of the names that are going to be leaders for the Lady Gators offensively, you think?
Kelsey Carroll, Kaylee Patrick. I don't know. We'll see. Valerie Carter. But that's about it right now.
Middle infield, shortstop, second base. I think you had seniors in both of those places last year. Olivia and Kirkland, who up the middle defense important in baseball, softball, whatever. So who are you looking at possibly moving in there?
Izzy at 2, and I'll have a sophomore Ariana Daniels at short.
Okay. All right, slide the microphone over. Let me talk to Kelsey a minute. Hey, good morning.
Morning.
All right. Excited about the upcoming season?
I am excited.
What's the best thing about playing softball?
I've been playing ball my whole life, so just like not only the sport, like just being with your friends, hanging out, it's fun.
And being a part of a team last year that made a deep run in the playoff, does that make you that much hungrier to do it again this year?
I'm excited about this team. Like, we have a lot of potential. It's just a matter if we play together and use our ability the right way.
Okay. Anything you would like to tell us about Coach Morgan Jacobs' coaching style? Is she a real disciplinarian, or does she kind of pat you on the back, or a little combination of both?
She's pretty laid back for the most part. Sometimes she likes to get up and yell a little bit, but that we got to really push her to do that. But practice is laid back. We do what we're supposed to do without her fussing a whole lot. So.
Now, as far as your playing style, are you a leader from a let's go get 'em and rah rah or whatever? Or do you let your actions kind of lead the team?
I'm a little bit of both. At practice and stuff, I just kind of do whatever, like my actions, I would say. But in the game, I like to be loud and cheerful.
I see her nodding her head. Give her back the microphone just a minute. Would now that she's had an opportunity to say that, do you agree with her assessment of you and your coaching style?
I do. I do agree.
Okay. Are there others on the team that are the big rah-rah type, that when the team's down or behind that really, get after everybody to get with it?
No, just Kelsey.
Just Kelsey.
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's good that you know who you can depend on to do that then.
Just Kelsey.
Okay. All right. Well, you've done an excellent job leading off, and we'll be
Thanks.
back to you in a moment, okay?
Okay.
All right. Next, we're going to move over to the table with the black tablecloth. By the way, we've got the school park colors kind of matching up with here, making it easy to know where to sit. And Coach Scott Johnson in his second season at South Columbus. Coach Johnson, the 2A team here in the county, and sometimes the success that you see in the regular season, you end up in the playoffs and you haven't had real favorable matchups at South Columbus the last couple of years because you've run into teams that have either played for or won state championships.
Absolutely. So, they're kind of the measuring stick with the 2A is, played last year Bunn, who actually eventually lost to the eventual state champ, and then a year before that was South Granville, who, we lost to. I wasn't here at that time,
right.
But I was at that game, and, they won as well. So.
You've got a lot of people returning, though, from that team last year. I know Lindsey Jones at first base and Sandra Jacobs in the outfield, but still a lot of experienced people returning and have playoff experience as well. So that's got to bode well for the Stallions this season.
Yeah, we're looking forward to, seeing what we can do. Have a lot of, like you said, people that have are returning, girls that have been in the program for 3 years, and now this will be their fourth. And really excited to see what we can do. Some people having to step up and take some leadership roles. Had a really good senior class last year that kind of bought into a different coaching style, different system, and our seniors this year kind of picked up where they've left off, and are we're excited to see what we can do.
And one of those seniors you brought with you, Alex Chestnut, and if slide the microphone over to her and let Alex give us a couple of comments. Alex, looking forward to the upcoming softball season.
I'm excited about it.
And what's your leadership style as a senior? He said, senior, take that leadership responsibility. More of a vocal or action, and a little combination of both.
I'm more of an action, not really vocal.
Which we could tell by your short answer. So, yeah, that's fine. Now, what position do you play primarily?
Second base.
Second base is. I was going to ask Coach Johnson this question, but I'm going to ask you, and then he can respond as well. As your infield, when we talked with the high school baseball coaches, they were talking a lot about a lot of position shifting that's going to have to go on because they're looking for more pitching. Are you going to be, as far as you know, primarily at second base, and is your infield pretty well set who's going to be at first, second, short, and third, and not moving around as much?
I think our infield is pretty set, except our first base. Our pitchers play first base.
So just alternating in there, that type of thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you enjoy most about playing softball?
I think I enjoyed the friendship the most.
What do you consider you're better, defensive or at the plate?
I like being at the plate.
Oh, everybody likes to hit. Just all of us like me couldn't hit, so that's why I never really enjoyed it that much. Now, yeah, slow pitch softball, but when you sped it up, quite a bit different. Let me grab Coach Johnson again. Do you see that as an advantage when you're able to go with that set infield group, set person behind the plate, and not have to make a whole lot of shifting around?
Well, coming from a baseball background, definitely. But with softball, you can get one pitcher can eat up a lot of innings
Right.
for you. So I think it's an advantage to have some consistency in knowing where to line up and how to be. But you always want to put your best athletes where they're going to benefit you the most. So most of the time that's up the middle, because 80% of the balls are hit in the gaps there. So from gap to gap. So we want to be strong at the middle. And returning Haley Sarvis and also Alex, two seniors, that'll help us out a whole lot. And then we also have a senior behind the plate and Maddie Johnson, and we'll have a senior or two that'll be in the outfield, either in center field or in left field. Left field. So between those, we've got a lot of experience, and defensively, we should. I feel like that's going to be our strong point.
Okay. All right, let's move down here to Coach John Browning in his first season as the West Columbus softball coach, taking over from Caroline Newman. And, Coach, it's really kind of nowhere to go but up with the West Columbus softball program. What's got to be done, in your opinion, to get West Columbus moving in the same direction that the other programs in the county are going?
I think the key is on our end of the county, getting girls at a younger age excited about playing softball. Most successful programs, their players play travel ball. They play throughout the year. And we're starting to trend that way. But I think that's the key, just getting young ladies excited about playing the game.
I know that, with smaller numbers, also it's a good thing for the school, but it may not necessarily be a good thing for the softball program with the girls soccer and the softball going on at the same time. Probably some athletes there that, with the success that the girls soccer team has started to see, that could possibly help you, that end up playing soccer just simply because, we've got an opportunity to win quicker here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, in middle school, when the seasons don't cross over, you see a lot more success in the middle schools during softball. But like you said, when they get to high school, they have to choose. And a lot of times that's the determining factor. Where can I get some wins?
Right.
And I don't fault any player for that.
Who are some of the people that you're counting on this year for leadership roles for the Vikings?
Well, our senior, Lindsey Strickland, she's our #1 pitcher. She went down the first game last year, so she missed the entire season last year. She's back. Laramie Whitehead, who's played varsity 4 years, she's going to be one of our leaders. But our team's we're going to have a facelift, so to speak, because a lot of our key roles are going to be filled by sophomores. So players like Jada Faison, Kristen Mears, Emily Britt, they're going to play some huge roles for us.
Nothing like getting that on the field experience and growing that way, and hopefully it'll pay off for West Columbus softball later on this year when they get more experience and in the future as well.
No, that's the plan.
All right, going down here to the end, Coach Olivia Scott of the Whiteville Wolfpack. Coach, only lost a couple of seniors from the roster from last year, but two fairly key players.
Yes, sir. Both of those players are doing very well in college. They're both at Pembroke this year. They're roommates and doing well. We surely miss them, but they are going to their spots are going to be filled by some very good athletes.
I know that Mallory got a lot of the innings pitched for you last year, but young lady with you, Ivy Hayes, also had some very successful outings, and I think Carly Fulkerson also did some pitching as well. So it's not like the cupboard is bare at Whiteville where some experienced varsity pitchers come in, is it?
Correct. Ivy will be our number one for sure this year. She's got some big shoes to fill, but I know she can fill them and do a great job. She's worked hard in the off season, and again, I know she'll do a great job. Carly will be with the varsity this year. She pitched all of the JV games last year, and we pulled her up at the end. And then we still have 2 JV pitchers, that Bailey Carteret and Jenna Bullard, and they are not out of sight for me, especially when we play some of the good competition in our conference.
And as far as how solid the infield behind the plate, pretty much set with those positions from last season?
Not anymore. Our shortstop, Courtney Granger, she's a junior, broke her ankle back in October. She's recovering and has been released to do everything except for competitive play. So we're working with her diligently. And a freshman will be filling her spot. The sister of our catcher, Lauren Hilburn, her sister Carmen will be playing shortstop. And we've brought Laura Blair Thompson back to the infield to fill Eden's shoes.
Okay.
She was center field last year. She'll be our second baseman this year. Then we have our baby Sage at first base, and Bree Tolley, another senior, at third.
What would you say the strength of the Wolfpack will be? Will you be at the plate, in the field? Again, like you say, Ivy with plenty of pitching experience, so you're expecting that to be level with what you had in the past, but defensively, offensively?
I would say that Ivy and Mallory, their pitching styles are a little different. Ivy is really a go-getter. She fights hard for ground balls and pop flies, and we're going to have to be a great defensive team behind her. She can get the job done, but we've got to fight for her and be there for her. Offensively, I think, we have some huge bats, including Ivy's. Big stick for me. Sage McClellan, big stick. Laura Blair, when Courtney gets back. We are not the offensive team we've been in the past. I expect to see a little closer games, but I think it's going to be pretty equal. Maybe some lower scoring games, but we've got to play defense as well.
Okay. Let's slide it over to Ivy. Let me ask her a couple of questions. Hey, I don't know what percentage that softball coaches, and I may ask this question when we go back down, but I would think pitching in softball has a higher percentage of the success rate of a team than some of the. Are you excited about this season and being the number one?
I'm very excited. Like Coach Olivia said, I have some big shoes to fill, but I'm very excited.
And you got complete confidence in your teammates that when you throw strikes and they put it in play, they're going to make the plays behind you, right?
Most definitely.
She also mentioned you as one of the big bats in the lineup. What do you prefer, the pitching or the hitting?
That's a tough one. I don't know. Probably the pitching, because I love to hit too, but I love to pitch.
Well, it's nice that the choice is hard to make. Like I said, someone like me, there wasn't any choice because I never could hit. So I had to like the other parts of the game. The bar for Whiteville softball is set pretty high. Mm-hmm. Is that a positive influence, or because of the expectations, or sometimes do you think the expectations for the Whiteville program is that overwhelming as a player, or you just don't worry about it, you just get out there and you're playing ball?
It can be, I guess, a little overwhelming at times because they're set so high, but I feel, I don't know. We always go out there and play the best that we can, so we just play ball like we always have. Okay.
And that's going to come back. I want to come back here because tradition, and we'll go all the way down with this. East Columbus has a good softball tradition, and I think when you got that tradition, the players know that, and they have something to aspire to. Do you agree, Coach?
Yes, I do agree.
Gee, give me a long answer. Okay. So let me ask Kelsey then. Maybe she'll give a little bit longer response to that. Do you know that East Columbus has a good softball tradition, and that's something that is a positive as far as you know?
I think it's positive. I think for me and most of the girls on my team, at least the seniors, we've been playing ball for a long time. So it's easy to just get out there and, like, take it like another game. You don't take it for granted, but you just play like you always have. Sometimes it can be intimidating for the younger girls, especially on our team, pulling up some freshmen and sophomores to play varsity. It might be a little bit difficult for them. Not really difficult, but you know what I mean. But
Right.
I think it's a good thing.
Gee, I'm glad you brought her. Okay. Coach Johnson, South Club, maybe not deep runs in the playoff, but certainly competitive for, the title, competitive in every contest that you play during the season. So there's a good softball tradition at South Columbus.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, and especially within the county, we're really blessed with a lot of opportunities for girls to play, and having the complex right there, and parents are definitely involved. So there's a definite tradition there, and we're very blessed to be where we are, and blessed to have the community support, and for not only each individual program, but overall, we've had a lot of support, even with some tragedies that certain teams have had to face. So,
Alex, add to that just the tradition of South Columbus softball. Is that something that you can draw some power from and say, hey, we've had great teams here before, and we want to be like that?
Yeah, most definitely. We have a lot of shoes to fill from the previous graduating classes, but I think we have a pretty good softball team.
Okay. Coach Browning, not necessarily in that same vein, but that's something, of course, that West Columbus you're going to work to build towards.
Yeah, I mean, all we have to do is look in our county, and we have plenty of examples of where we want to be as a program. And we've had some success in the past, and Coach Newman, Caroline, she was part of that. And even though she's not the head coach, she's still going to be a huge part of our program. And just to be in a conference with some of the best programs in the state, and I think I can say that pretty confidently, the teams in our conference, in our county, are some of the best in the state. I mean, it's an honor to play with them, but it also gives us something to shoot for, because that's where we want to be.
Piggyback on what Coach Browning said, Coach Scott, the competitiveness within the conference is good for all of the schools involved. The competitiveness within the county. I mean, you see good pitching, good play throughout the season. So when you get in the playoffs, sometimes early rounds in 1A, especially the level of competition actually drops off some from what you see during the regular season. Regular season play really prepares you well, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and especially, next year when we have our conference change, we add 2 more teams. A lot of people are arguing because you only get to play 5 non-conference games. I don't see that as an issue too much for us, because the competition is so stiff within our conference, and it does prepare us very well, especially defensively, because there are so many phenomenal hitters in our conference, and it really does prepare us when we get to the playoffs, especially in 1A.
Right. Okay, Coach Jacobs down here at East. Want to talk about scheduling for a moment, because with the way the playoffs are set up, the conference champion gets in, and everything else is set up by your overall record. At East Columbus, is it a matter of you kind of are trying to look at non-conference games as to maybe getting some teams, or you can get some wins and build up your overall record to get a higher seed, or are you just simply playing the people that are willing to play you?
Pretty much. I mean, I like to play some competition. It's just going to make us better and just prepare us more for playoffs. So I don't mind playing, really pretty much whoever wants to play us.
And I think this year, because of the Easter break difference between Columbus County and Brunswick County, you're not going to be able to defend your touchstone title, are you?
No, and that's going to hurt us, because that's a big, playing at West Brunswick, that helps us a lot. We, see a lot of good teams, and, winning that last year, I think, helped us It brought some confidence to the girls, and so that's going to hurt us because I enjoy going down there. We see a lot of good competition, so yeah, it's going to be tough.
Have you been able to fill in for your Easter break with some games? I know it's been hard for the baseball people.
No, not really. We're still looking, so it's kind of up in the air right now.
Right. Coach Johnson, I know I think South Columbus also involved in the touchstone in the past as well, and not going to have that opportunity. First of all, what's your scheduling philosophy as far as what you try to do non-conference?
Try to play the best competition possible. Home. I don't really feel like there's necessarily a home field advantage for the most part, unless you had some funky dimensions of your ballpark. Right. That's totally different. But I actually kind of like playing on the road. I think there's fewer distractions, so your overall record really doesn't matter too much to me as far as getting seeding. It's always nice to have a home game, but when you have home games and you have all these people that are wanting to come, and it can be a distraction at times. I like to play the best competition, especially early on, because then you have a measuring stick to see where you're going to be and things you need to work on. I don't know for lack of time, but if you'll come back to me, I want to talk a little bit about Victoria.
Okay.
Before
I was going to just kind of leave that up to you to go to. Didn't know exactly how you would want to handle that, so we will. Coach Browning, scheduling wise, Coach Jones is athletic director and baseball coach. Mm-hmm. He said if people call and want to play us, we're going to play them. Yeah. Basically to make sure we get the schedule filled out. Mm-hmm. We have seen in basketball. Mm-hmm. Don't know how much y'all are aware of this, and hopefully it won't occur during the softball season, where not making up a non-conference game may have cost a local team a playoff spot. Getting as many non-conference games as the state allows and getting them played is important.
Yeah, when you're trying to build a program, and it's similar to what I had in basketball, you want to build confidence early because your team has to learn how to compete first, and then they have to learn how to win. So when our situation's a little different, we try to schedule teams that we can compete with, teams that will help us with our confidence, because it gets rigorous pretty quickly on our schedule. So our schedule this year basically looks like a preview of next year's conference schedule. We've added East Bladen, West Bladen, so no cupcakes for sure. But we're going to learn to compete.
There you go. Coach, scheduling, anybody, anytime, anywhere?
I'm very lucky to have an athletic director that allows me to kind of veer off from the baseball schedule. In years past, baseball likes to play a couple of Hanover County teams. The competition there for us is just not as strong. This year we're pulling Topsail, Hoke County, and Richmond as our non-conference. So we're kind of going hard to get ready for conference, because these schools aren't any kind of joke. I try to get my girls prepared right off the bat, and I think that'll help us. And I also kind of spread it out throughout the season. I try not to jam it all in the first 2 weeks before conference. In fact, we play Richmond the Saturday before the conference tournament to prepare us for the conference tournament. So,
all right, 2 questions. Then we're going to go back this way. I'm totally lost for the word support. Good support for softball.
Absolutely. When I was in high school 10 years ago, telling my age, but we did not have it. Softball was unheard of. We just went out there and we played the game, had fun. I have a great group of parents. We have our own booster club now, and we are seeing big changes, working on our field, making it look nice. We have something to be proud of at Whiteville this year.
First-year softball coach, program that's been struggling, what's the support like? Are people starting to step up and say, hey, we've got to get softball moving in the right direction?
Absolutely. I coached middle school and I coached JV before taking this job. So a lot of those kids, their parents already know me. So parent support is definitely on the uptick, and we have some girls who are used to playing travel ball, and their parents are used to being involved in softball. So that's really going to make a difference for us.
Okay. Coach Johnson, support at South Columbus?
Yeah, we have a tremendous amount of support all throughout the community, and that's one thing you can count on there is for the community to get behind their girls, and there's I've been pleasantly surprised at how much support the girls program has gotten.
And Coach Jacobs, having spent time in the eastern end of the county, I would dare say that softball may be up at the top of the ladder as far as how the program that the locals do support in that at East Columbus.
Yeah, we have a lot of support with the parents and the community. These girls have been playing ball since they were little. So the parents, they're there to help, and we have a lot of support, just, the community, not even just parents, So it helps a lot to have, the community behind you and all the parents behind you.
Okay. And Kelly, I'm going to mess you up because we're going to swing back down to the right, okay? Final comments. Ivy, have you enjoyed being here today?
Yeah.
And are you looking forward to going back and seeing how you looked on camera and everything, Rod, what you sounded like?
Yeah.
And the thing that the idea for this was the football coaches do one in the fall, and football does get a lot of individual attention and whatever. And so our idea was all the sports, deserve an opportunity to promote themselves, and that's where this came from. And we appreciate you taking your time on Saturday morning to come be with us and have a biscuit and a drink or whatever. I do try to at least give you a little bit of something, reason to come. And Coach Scott, any final comments just in general that you have about the upcoming season or anything?
I'm just excited. I'm ready to see what this season holds. We've got a new chemistry. I'm ready to see how it all works out, and we're really going to be a program this year using JV and varsity, a lot of good athletes. We're running 22 strong, but we're ready to play.
Okay, good. Coach Browning, thoughts about the upcoming season or just anything?
I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm used to this. I've taken over programs, been struggling. So just with the young ladies we have coming up, I'm looking forward to it. I think they are up to the challenge.
Okay. I want to skip Coach Johnson and save him last, so let's go down here to East Columbus. Morgan? General comments about the upcoming season for the Gators?
Excited, ready to just get out there and see how everything goes. All of us lost key players, and we got key players coming back, so I'm just ready to see how everything, falls into place. So.
And I'm going to let Kelsey have the last words. She talked more than you did. Kelsey, glad to have you here this morning. Anything that you'd like to add?
No, thank you for having me. I had fun. I'm excited about this season. It's going to be great.
So if we do this again, you can tell them on down that we don't bite and everything's nice and easy, right?
Okay, I'll tell them.
Okay. And then let's move down here to Coach Johnson and just your general comments, and then anything else that you'd like to add.
Well, thank you for having us. I think it's awesome that the girls get this exposure, and if people out there haven't come to watch a game, sometimes focus tends to be on football and basketball and even baseball. They get a lot of publicity, but if you want to see fast-paced, I've coached baseball for years, and there's nothing like a girls' softball game with the emotion and everything that goes along with it. Is really over pretty quick, so you'll have a chance to catch our game, and then hopefully catch the tail end of some of those guys' games, especially with all the pitching changes and stuff that are going on. That's going to extend the game, so it's going to be a long time.
Alex, any final comments that you have? Have you enjoyed being here this morning? It hasn't been as bad as maybe you thought it was going to be when you were asked?
No, I had fun being here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, and looking forward to the season, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Scott, you had something else?
Victoria Harrelson, who is returning junior for us this year, had she collapsed and had some medical issues, and she's literally over the past week been fighting for her life and continuing to do so, and that's hit our girls pretty hard, and even within the county, talking with a lot of our peers and friends, there's been overwhelming support that has come out of that. But just remember her family, her in your prayers, and our team, because we've got. I've made cuts for the JV, but I still haven't made cuts for varsity yet, or had our whole team out there due to girls just. Either playing basketball or not being able to come to grips with
Right.
some of the things. So we're inspired this year. We're playing for Vic. It's kind of our whole motto, and we're hearts are breaking because we invest so much in these kids, and having a daughter that's her age is even more difficult to go through, but we play in her honor, and know if she could communicate with us, and she would say, you better get your tail out there, or I'm gonna, punch you in the neck or something like that. Knowing Vic, but our girls are come together, and it's given our whole county opportunity to come together and support over a player that has meant so much to each and every one of us, and a game that has meant so much to us as well.
Well, certainly our thoughts and prayers, along with, I know I can echo everyone here and everyone associated with what we do, are with not only her family, but the softball community. Not only just South Columbus, but it affects everybody in Columbus County is touched by that. So we're just all hoping for the best. I'd like to say again, thank you to everyone for taking time on Saturday and to come out and do this. And we hope to make it an annual affair and keep shining the spotlight on some of the sports that may not get the spotlight quite as often. So again, thank you for coming, and we will be following this up with our girls soccer. Thank you, everyone.